Welcome back guys to another GTA video, and in today's one we are going to be taking a look at the quadruple RP and double money Lamar missions, both the Lowrider and the solo playable missions. Starting off with these 7 solo playable missions, we have Ticket to Elysium, Lost MC RIP, No Smoking, Going Down the GOH, Caught Napping, San Andreas Soul and Ballers to the Wall. And we will start off with this one, Ballers to the Wall. Now, I did play all 7 of these missions straight through, one after the other, and they took me just over 30 minutes to complete. And I'll give you a breakdown of the total RP and cash earned at the end in a comparison to the Lowrider missions I completed in the same amount of time it took me to complete all 7 of these missions. So jumping into this one, very easy mission where we head over to the location, take out some enemies, collecting 100 RP for each kill and collect the vehicle, which we then return to Simeon's lot. Now obviously you can take your time on these missions and earn more RP the longer you take, but I am just playing these normally and not taking any additional time to boost my RP. However, I will stop on this first one just to highlight that if you do stop to take out any chasing enemies, you will gain that extra 100 RP for every enemy taken out on the drive back. You can make it back to the drop off location without having to take out the chasing enemies, but the extra RP does help, and as it does take time to do this, you will get the additional RP for the length taken to complete the mission. And now having completed that, you can see I've collected 9,000, just over 9,000 GTA dollars and a not so good 3,700 RP. But bear in mind, I did stop to take out some enemies, so you're probably talking just over 5,000, around about 6,000 RP. But jumping into the second mission, which is Ticket to Elysium, all we're going to do is jump in our vehicle, chase down a truck and trailer to take out the driver. Once that's done, all we need to do is head over to the drop off location. Sounds easy, doesn't it? Just don't shoot that tanker in the back. Bad things will happen. But having collected the truck and trailer, all we need to do is lose the cops and, like I said, head over to the drop off location. Now for the most of the missions, there is one that I'll show you next, it's a different location, but most of them with a truck and trailer will drop off at this point here. With that one finished, you can see that we've collected just over 19,000 GTA dollars and a nice 6,100 RP. The next mission up is the Lost MC RIP, and this one, if you're into your combat PvE, this is the one to go for. Plenty of enemies to take out, lots of RP to earn as well taking out all these enemies. I reckon there is around about 20 enemies that you do need to take out. All we're going to do is head over to the cemetery. There's a funeral going on at the moment, and it gives us a perfect opportunity to surprise them and take out all the enemies. Now I will say that not all the enemies show up on the minimap straight away, so take your time, take out some vehicles, work your way around the graveyard, but eventually we get to this point here where we take out the final enemy and we earn ourselves just over 14,500 GTA dollars as well as just over 5,000 RP. The next mission up is No Smoking, and this is a combination of PvE and also driving one of those bloody truck and trailers that are so difficult and slow to drive. But starting off with, there are a few enemies that you do need to take out before you can steal that truck and trailer. But once you get to the final enemy cleared out, that allows you to then take the truck and trailer over to the location. Now this one is slightly different to other truck and trailer missions, where we are going to head over to this area in La Puerta, just north of Rogers Scrapyard. But once that has been delivered, you can see that we are going to collect just under 15,000 GTA dollars and 5,500 RP. Getting on into the next mission, this is another truck and trailer mission going down the GOH. So jump into your car and head over to the highway on the west coast. Once you're there, get in front of the trailer, take out the driver. If you can be a bit more accurate than I am, but again, be careful not to hit that tanker. We do eventually get the driver taken out, and once that's done, there is another enemy in the passenger who will jump out. You can take him out if you want for an extra 100 RP, but I am just looking, like I said earlier, to get these done as quickly as possible. Now, on the drive back, once again, we do have some pesky enemies, so I resorted to the sticky bomb method. Now this one you do need to be careful, or you will blow up the trailer. But restart again, jumping back into it, we did eventually get this one completed and collecting 19,200 GTA dollars and just under 6,500 RP. So with that one done, we move on to the next one, which is caught napping. Now once again, it is a bit of a drive. What we're going to do is jump in our car and head up the same highway. This time it's Leroy from the electrical shop that got himself kidnapped. So all we need to do is take out a couple of enemies in the back of this van and the driver, wait for Leroy to jump out and escort him back to safety, all the way back down to Forum Drive. Once we get back to the location and get Leroy dropped off, that is it, mission passed, and we collect ourselves another 19,200 GTA dollars as well as 6,100 RP. But moving on to the final solo playable mission, we have San Andreas Soul. Now this one, where I spawned was ideal, didn't need the car, just crossed the road into the garage. We've got a couple of enemies here that we do need to take out. If we don't take them out, we're still going to get spotted by the cops, so either way you might as well collect that for an extra 200 RP. We then jump in the truck and trailer and get it over to the location. Now we do need to lose the cops on the way, but it is fairly easy to lose the cops even in this slow truck and trailer. But getting over to the location again over at Elborough Heights, we can see that we're collecting ourselves 18,900 GTA dollars and 6,100 RP. So with all those 7 missions completed, I earned 95,000 GTA dollars and just under 40,000 RP, and it did in fact take me just over half an hour to complete all 7 missions. So as a comparison, jumped in to complete some Lowrider missions where I tried to get as many done as possible within the same half hour 35-minute time limit. So jumping into It's a G Thing to help out one of my mates. We got this one done. I did most of the work there. My mate jumped in the tank, kept himself safe. I drove down to the airport, freed G and gone back up to the drop off point. Now this one did take a little bit of time because my mate who was in a tank took his sweet ass time losing the cops. Now again, that does add additional time, but it also gets us an additional RP, and once we completed this one we did in fact get 30,000 GTA dollars as well as 11,500 RP. So we moved on, this time we are into slow and low, and I am actually playing with a random player on this one. And if I remember right, it was only round about level 17, so this one did take us a few attempts. But eventually we got all the way down to the location in Cypress Flats and took out all the rest of the enemies. I think it took us about 3 goes. He died once here and got seen by the cops on the drive down. But eventually we got the mission passed and we collected 21,000 GTA dollars and 8,000 RP. Now there was an additional 1,300 RP from the previous fails, so we'll add that into the total at the end. Moving on though to point and shoot. I've got another random helping me on this one, slightly better with stats. He is in fact level 45, not much better but better. And again, all we're doing is taking photographs, taking out the enemies and getting the cars back to Gerald. Now after this one had completed, we were around about the 40-minute mark, so as a solo player, trying to get randoms into these missions, yeah, they should be fairly easy, but the level of the randoms that you're going to get helping you is not going to be great. The majority of them are going to be lower than level 100, so it is going to take a bit longer. But as you can see at the end of this one, I got just over 11,000 GTA dollars and just under 6,000 RP. As a comparison, over the 35 minutes to 40 minutes for both sets of missions, the 7 soloable missions earned us just under 96,000 GTA dollars and just under 40,000 RP in that half hour, whereas the 3 Lowrider missions earned me 65,000 GTA dollars and just under 27,000 RP. So if you've got friends to help you out with the Lamar missions, great, go for it. Probably worthwhile doing them, but as a solo player, stick to the soloable missions. But there you have it from me, guys. If you did enjoy today's video, do leave a like, and if you are new here, why not consider subscribing. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.